What is up, guys? It is Zach, and welcome back to my channel. This is literally my 5th time attempting to record this video, so please drop a like for the effort I put into making this dang video. Today I'm going to be talking about Nintendo. This is just not even going to be like a formal video. This is just going to be me sitting here talking to you guys. It's like a genuine conversation just about Nintendo and the things and conversations that have been going on the past couple days. And yes, that is little baby me in the corner there. Sorry, got distracted. Anyways, so we're going to be talking about everything today, going from the Switch OLED version to people's thoughts and opinions, and what I personally think of just people's thoughts and opinions, because I do have quite a bit to say. So do try to stick around for the whole entire video, just so you can get my full perspective on what I think. So I'm just going to start off this conversation by saying, am I going to get this model? Well, yes, I am. I said that in yesterday's video, but to give a more clear reason as to why I'm getting this model is because it's not just because I own the launch edition and want the shiny new one. No, there's lots of logistical reasons. Well, firstly, my Switch overheats. The battery life is like even worse than it came out of the box, and the fan sometimes can be noisy. So presuming that all of those issues would be addressed with this new model, and the new things that the new model adds, it's just worth my investment to get the new model. And that's the thing with this new model, right? It isn't a model for everyone. It is only a model for people, probably like me, who have the launch version Switch and want an upgrade. Or if you just don't have a Switch at all, and you're going to be new into the ecosystem, and it's like, right, do I want the standard one, pay $50 more for some of the extra features, or get the Lite? It's more so for that purpose, I think. And I can completely understand a lot of people's disappointment in this. Honestly, I myself am actually quite disappointed it's not a more powerful model. Simply because of the fact that, I mean, obviously it's not more powerful. Like, people want better hardware. People want things to run better, to look better. People want that, naturally. So I completely understand why this model isn't appealing to people and people are disappointed. I completely get that. There are just a few things I do want to say. Firstly, I think bashing people who are excited for this console are just stupid. Like, I get it. If you're disappointed by this new console, if you don't like it, I completely understand. And you are allowed to vocalize your opinion, of course. I always do that. When I'm always disappointed in stuff Nintendo does. You know, I'm always vocal about what I think Nintendo could do better. How I'm right now, actually, this little sketchbook here, I'm drawing concepts for my Luigi's Mansion 4 video for this year. If you guys want a little preview of something I've been working on, here's a little preview of EGAD's lab I've been drawing. So, I am not one to say you cannot voice your opinions about how Nintendo does things. Go for it. But as soon as you start bashing on someone who's excited for this model because of the fact that the model doesn't suit your needs, why? What's the point of it? Who cares? I mean, you should slightly care if this Switch model sells well or doesn't sell well. It doesn't matter. This Switch, if it's not made for you, just like the Switch Lite, some people don't really care about playing the Switch in handheld mode. Some people just want to play it on the TV. Fine. So you don't buy the Switch Lite. There's your solution. Same thing with this. If you don't play in handheld mode and the screen, the battery life doesn't matter much to you, you don't have to get it. And if it's about the new dock, well, you can buy the new dock separately from Nintendo's website. So I think I saw GameXplain post something about that, where you'll be able to get the new dock separately without the console. So there's nothing, you're not missing out. If you just want the new dock with the wired, with the Ethernet cable thing, like right in the dock, you can get the dock on its own. Easy enough. Like, there's nothing making you buy this system. So, if you're bashing people for buying the system, like, did I like Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon? No. Did I like Luigi's Mansion 3? Not as much as I would love to. Do I bash on the people who love those titles? No. Same with Mario Party. Do I bash on the people who like Mario Party 9 and 10 and Island Tour and all that? No. I love hearing people's different sides, even if we disagree. That's the whole point of a freaking opinion. You know, so there are people who are excited about this, and there are people who aren't. And if you are disappointed, you have every right to be disappointed, and you have every right to vocalize that disappointment. But it does not give anyone any right to bash anyone who's excited for this, because for some people who play in handheld mode, this is a big deal. You're getting a bigger screen, a nicer screen, where colors and dark colors will like look brighter and darker respectively. It'll be so much better for a lot of people. The kickstand's so much better for people who want to play in tabletop mode. There's a lot of benefits to this system to the people who want to upgrade. So you have no right to bash anyone for that. Done. That's it. Secondly, this is the one thing I will say in Nintendo's defense here. I don't want to use the term you, because I don't want to feel like I'm attacking the person watching this video, especially if you're not that kind of person. But for the people who are bashing Nintendo for this system, because it's not 4K, purely because of the fact that you heard what the insiders and the YouTubers said. That's so stupid. You shouldn't be mad at something, or you shouldn't be mad at Nintendo for something that they never announced or promised in the first place. They never said anything about a 4K Switch. They never said anything about a Switch Pro. They always said, we don't want to talk about these things. We don't have anything to say on this matter. Like, that's what they always say. So, the fact that you're bad, like, they always say, we don't have anything to say, we got nothing to say on this matter, and then they announce a new Switch that's not what they said they're not going to say, and you get mad at them for not releasing or announcing something they said they're not going to announce? Like, come on, that's so stupid. Like, yes, like, you know, the insider said this, the insider said that. The insiders can be wrong on some things. Yes, they got the OLED screen right, they got certain things right, but they can also just as easily get things wrong. And not only with the insiders, I can't just blame the insiders here, it's also the YouTubers. I talked about the Switch Pro in a video once, or maybe twice. I think it was actually twice. 2 videos about the Switch Pro. One when it was, like, you know, starting to get some rumblings, and then one, like, a week before it was supposedly supposed to get announced. Saying, will this happen, will this not happen, we don't know. And, you know, I can be partially to blame, but there are so many other people, I'm not going to say any names, that just always talked about the Switch Pro as if it was a definite. You know, and it just makes people in their mind when they hear Switch Pro so often. It's not even just like, you know, one YouTuber covering it a lot. It's just you watch YouTubers like you go to Wood from Beat 'em Ups or RGT85 and then Arlo and in Game Explain. You hear them all talk about this Switch Pro. You hear it, you know, you hear it every day in these videos, and it makes you think because all these YouTubers are talking about it in your head, it becomes real. So when they don't announce this real thing, you get frustrated. And you're going to let your anger out on Nintendo as well as some of these YouTubers. And to me, that's just completely irrational. It's not Nintendo's fault that they're not releasing a 4K machine. Do I think it's lazy? Yes, we'll go into that in a little bit. But I think it's like why are you mad at Nintendo for something they didn't promise? That's basically my main gist of it. They never promised a Switch Pro. They said time and time again that they got nothing to announce, they got nothing to show, and well, they still don't. So this is nothing new. This is just an average other day. They just announced a new Switch model, and I don't know. Like I said, if you're disappointed because it's not 4K, just because you wanted a more powerful console, that I understand. Because I'm the same way. I want a more powerful Switch, just because I want a more powerful Switch. If you're disappointed for those reasons, completely understandable. But if it's because of what the insider said, what the YouTuber said, no. Like, that doesn't matter. So the next thing I want to talk about, this is going to be my last real talking point, but it'll be a long one, is that I've seen a lot of people talk about this. The video that really struck this nerve with me, and not in a bad way, like this isn't me down, like shit-talking this YouTuber, sorry for swearing, is, I was about to say RGT5, no, 8-Bit Eric. 8-Bit Eric posted a video about the Switch announcement, the Switch OLED model, and how it was lazy and all of that. And how he feels like this year, you know, Nintendo started to be very lazy. In the first few years of the Nintendo Switch being out, they were so creative, and now it's like they're putting in bare minimum effort. And he brought up Mario Golf Super Rush, for instance. And to that, I've seen the sentiment all over the place, like on Twitter and YouTube, just many different people saying, wow, Nintendo's starting to release bare minimum and trying to get away with it, or trying to overprice the price. And this has become not just with the Switch OLED, this is something that's also became popular with Skyward Sword HD, even Mario Golf sparked this conversation, and it's just kind of funny, you know, people talk about Nintendo being lazy with games, and this actually even really started way back with Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I've been saying this for years now. I've been saying this since 2018, I think, with Mario Tennis Aces. I think was the first game I talked about where I was like, this is just pure laziness. Like, you know, releasing characters post-launch is just lazy. Like, to me, I've always been critical of Nintendo. Like, you guys know this. I've even had a YouTuber, not gonna say any names, beef with me and say that my channel, he didn't like my videos because of the fact that I talk a lot negatively about Nintendo. Well, that's because Nintendo does a lot wrong, and this is just, that was just the build-up to this, right? Mario Tennis Aces, let's start with that. Mario Tennis Aces, to me, was the real... I mean, there were, like, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, even on the Wii U, really started this, but I'm going to stay in the Switch generation here. Because, actually, let's go before Tennis Aces. Let's go in 2017. Brilliant year for Nintendo. They knew, because of the failures of the Wii U, they had to come out guns blazing. They had to have an amazing year to even come close to redeeming themselves after the Wii U. So, in the first year, they had Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2. They even brought out a new IP with ARMS. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was, yes, a Wii U port, but it was the Wii U port that I personally think, from what the Wii U ports I've played, that they've done the most with. They added a battle mode. They added new characters. They included all the DLC for free. They did so much with it. And that was just 2017. They had so many heavy hitters, and that doesn't even count the third-party support they got in the first year. And the first year for the Switch was amazing. You cannot deny that. There's literally no denial for how amazing that year was. Then you have 2018. Things started to slow down a bit, right? I'm trying to remember 2018. 2018, I believe, is when you got Kirby Star Allies, which is a very lazy game. You know, it's a very play-it-safe Kirby that has no difficulty, that they didn't add until afterwards. I believe that was like a free DLC or like a free content ad was a difficulty adjuster, like a really hard difficulty mode, I think. But like I said, the real one I want to talk about is Mario Tennis Aces, because to me, because I didn't play Kirby because I've never cared for Kirby, but Mario Tennis Aces, this is the first thing in my mind where I was like, wow, this is a really lazy game. One instance I always point to, because people always not defend, but say it's okay that they're releasing characters post-launch because it's like free DLC and it brings people back. Firstly, if you need, I've said this before and I'll say it again, if you need free characters post-launch that should have been there day one, which I'm going to get into that point in a bit, if you need, like, if you do that to make the game replayable, then that's just awful. That's shady. I'm not shady because you're not getting money from it, but it's just awful. That's how you have to get players to replay your game, by introducing these new free characters each month. And they're going to do the same with Mario Golf with the courses and characters, which I'll get into Mario Golf in a little bit. But yeah, it's just ridiculous. And for the characters, people might say, but Zach, you know, what makes you think these characters should have been there day one? My prime example for Mario Tennis Aces is Blooper. Blooper was a boss that you fought in the story mode in a tennis match. Meaning, by the time the game released, Blooper had animations, he had a fully complete model, he was completely playable in tennis as you could see. So what, maybe they had to fix some controls with him, but why'd they have to release him 5 months after launch if you could literally play against him in the story mode? He's obviously playable if you're able to fight against him. His animations are all there. He's done. Why do we have to wait 5 months or however long it was to get him? What's the point of that? You know, and then Super Mario Party came along down the line, ND Cube's first take on Mario Party for the Nintendo Switch, and while Mario Party Superstars has its promise, you know, and there are people who do like Super Mario Party because it does have its good qualities about it, it has just as many bad qualities. Every single mode is so shallow and shows laziness, so they didn't fully flesh out these modes more. And we didn't even get free DLC with that game. You know, before you say, oh, but Zach, it was fun. How many times would you go back and play River Survival mode, where there are only like 10 games that work with it, and then the Soundstage, which again only has 10 mini games that work with it, so it's like you're playing the same 10 mini games. Heck, in River Survival mode, I even remember playing it. Sometimes you come across the same mini game multiple times in your playthrough because there's so few of them. Like, it's absolutely crazy. And then the boards were all lazy and small and generic and bland and just not good. So maybe because of how well that game sold, that's why they're putting more effort into Super Mario Party. Or sorry, Mario Party Superstars. But even still, it's just still like why were they so lazy with that? 2019 had another uptick. 2019 was a decent year. Look, I'm not the biggest fan of Luigi's Mansion 3. I think it's the second best in the series. The first game still wins it out for me. But as much as I don't like a lot about that game, you cannot say that that game is not quality. Yeah, there are some, little, physics-related bugs, but the game looks beautiful. The art style is actually really, really good. I like the art style of the game. The animation that Next Level Games did with the game is beautiful. That is a quality game. That is a quality Nintendo game. And then you look at a game like that, and look at a game like Mario Golf Super Rush that has, very bland, minimalistic effort put in my personal opinion, which I'll get into that later, and it's the same price. Or you look at a game like, like Kirby, Star Allies, or whatever, they're all the same price, right? So, like I said, 2019 was a decent year. I can't really remember. I mean, Yoshi's Crafted World was a little bit, really, really short. Not worth $60. Again, compare that to Luigi's Mansion 3. The game was beautiful. The game did really look good. And it was a beautiful game, but didn't have much depth or anything really to it. Just a lot of backtracking things to collect the Poochies and all that. So pretty lazy game. But then 2020 came along, and you can kind of give Nintendo a pass here, except for one game, Animal Crossing. Listen, I don't play Animal Crossing, so I can't speak on my own personal opinion, but I can speak to all my friends who are huge Animal Crossing fans who have spent hundreds of hours in this game. Now, you might say, and actually I kind of say this as well, wow, you spent hundreds of hours in this game. You can't say there's no content if you're spending hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours in this game. But they do say that it's missing a lot of things that New Leaf had. There's some things, I can't say exactly what because I don't remember, and I'm not an Animal Crossing fan, but there are things that aren't there. And it's kind of like, why aren't these here? These were great features in New Leaf. Why aren't they in New Horizons? And, it's just kind of just Nintendo's laziness. It just bothers me so much. And then I'm just going to fast right forward to Mario Golf Super Rush, which is also a lazy product. Basically, they're doing the same thing with Mario Tennis Aces, except they're even doing with the courses. When you're holding back courses, because, okay, to me, alright, if you strip out all the Mario characters, the roster of Mario characters, remove that, and then take the Mario enemies off of the golf courses, would you even recognize it as a Mario game? Right? The golf courses are so generic and so bland. They look just like, there's nothing special here. And there will be special stuff added with the new courses added. We're getting a new Donk City course, which is cool. But why couldn't we get that day one? That's going to be their thing. Be like, oh, yeah, you guys stop playing Mario Golf Super Rush because there's no content. Let me give you this character. Let me give you this course. Toadette, characters like Toadette and Birdo, especially since Toadette is one of your rivals, one of the, you start up the story mode, right? And you have 3 roommates in this cabin you live in, right? You have Boo, which is playable, Charge and Chuck, which is playable, and then Toadette, who's not playable? How does that make sense? Your rivals are the playable characters -1. So, I just don't get that. Why wasn't Toadette playable day 1, if that's the case? Obviously, she's probably going to be one of the first characters they add. Let's be real. And same with Birdo. Birdo's the camp mama, but she talks about her golfing experiences and how much she loves golf and all that, so why isn't Birdo playable day 1? You're going to have these characters in the single-player mode that are not integral to the plot, but, who are some of the first characters you meet, the main characters. Why aren't they playable? Or better yet, why can't you unlock them? The single-player mode was so barren. No match plays! I mean, seriously. There you play speed golf against a couple, Toads and Yoshis, whatever, but why can't you go up to Toadette and be like, listen, I want to challenge you to golf. I want to play around with you. If I beat you, you're now on my character roster. I unlock you, which would be kind of a weird thing to just say to Toadette, but it'd be better than not having matches at all. Like, why can't you just do that through the story mode rather than holding Toadette in front of her face? Oh, you want Toadette? Oh, you're going to have to wait a couple months. It's so stupid. And Battle Golf has one course. You could say it has two, but it has one. Just one is more decorated than the other. And you could say it has four, but those other two are just different versions of the other two. It's just... it's crazy. It's so crazy. Now, the whole reason I went into this side tangent for like 10 minutes, the whole reason I'm doing this is because some people are acting as if this is new for Nintendo. That's what a lot of people are doing. Some people are like, oh my god, I've never seen Nintendo be so lazy with something like this before. Or something in general before. And I'm like, I'm used to it. I've seen this for years now. Maybe that's why I'm not even that disappointed in this system. Because I'm like, wow, it actually has new features. It's actually doing something new here. That's pretty cool. You know, I don't expect a lot from Nintendo because of the fact that it's Nintendo. They do the bare minimum. They always have. Always. Think about it. Always. Since, like, the Wii, right? Like, the GameCube, they were very inventive. You know, I'll even give the Wii, you know, stuff with its motion controls. But even the motion controls got very lazy. You know, the Wii U, they barely even used the tablet. The tablet was just a controller by a certain extent. Like, you know, yeah, you can play New Super Mario Bros. With it in Nintendo Land and Zombie U and all that. But the further on you got into the Wii U's lifespan, the less they actually started doing with the gamepad. And just showed that Nintendo's just getting lazy with it. And that's just Nintendo, right? Like, there's nothing we can do. It's Nintendo being Nintendo. But, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'm not as frustrated as a lot of people are with this announcement. But it's really bringing up an interesting conversation that I feel like just needs to be held. And, yeah. So, what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I know this is a pretty beefy rant. There's a lot to it. But hopefully you guys stuck around and enjoyed. So, please make sure to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. And make sure to subscribe down below. Click the notification bell so you're notified of when I upload videos. And check out the merch store. There's some cool ZakPak merch up on there for you to check out. So, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video.